You know, there's some people that are still sitting on the sidelines and they don't believe this rally. We told you a while ago that we believe this rally. We got ready for the rally. And I said to you that if Bitcoin stays above this trend line, and if we stay on the weekly above the 200-week MA, which is this line over here, which we did stay above. We stayed above it now for the second time. I said to you, I think it's going to be all out all season. I think it's going to be a rally, and I think the rally is going to continue. Now the question is whether the rally is actually going to continue and how long the rally is going to continue for. And I'm going to show you today that this actually may be the beginning of a rally and not the end of a rally. So you got to pay attention. I'm also going to show you a whole lot of trades that I make and a whole lot of trades that I'm making, and maybe we'll make some trades together depending on the number of likes that we have in this video. So I'm here in Korea, but I'm not going to miss a day. I'm here every single day, bringing you crypto love and crypto wisdom. Let's do this. I love you guys commenting about the internet here in Korea. Yeah, I'm in a hotel. The internet is super, super, super fast. So here I am bringing you crypto love and crypto wisdom. Did you think I was going to miss a day? Did you think I was going to miss today when altcoins are exploding exactly like I predicted they were going to explode? There was no way in hell that I was missing bringing you guys a show today. I took a whole lot of trades today. I want to share those trades with you, and then maybe we'll take a whole lot of trades together because I have a thesis. And if this thesis plays out, then we could be in for the ride of our lives. That's just the way it is. So listen, I'm going to do what I have to do. By the way, it's so funny listening to that song, Get Out of Bed, Bitch, now in Korea. Right now in Korea, it is 10:30 p.m., 10:20 p.m. I've got this stream to do, and after the stream, in 2 hours from now, I'm going to host the second class of crypto school. So you can't floor me for work ethic. Then I'll be done at 1 o'clock in the morning, and tomorrow I'm going to carry on bringing you crypto love and crypto wisdom. Had a brilliant day today at the event. Heard from Vitalik, interviewed the founder of Near Protocol, interviewed a whole lot of people from AVAX Labs. I've got a lot to tell you about the ETH merge. I'm actually even going to show you a trade that you may be able to execute around the ETH merge, and it's a brilliant trade. Show you how to execute it. If you want to do it, I did it. If you want to do it, you could probably do the same. That'll be amazing. I'll show you some other trades that I've done as well. So this is what I need you guys to do. I'm going to do my part. I'm going to bring you crypto love and crypto wisdom. I'm going to bring you the highest alpha show in crypto. And despite how badly people knocked us when we said that this pump is going to continue, despite how many people kept saying we're going to go down, I kept saying it's not going to happen. And today I'm going to show you the rest of that thesis. So I'm going to do what I need to do. You need to do what you need to do. And you know what that is. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to the channel. Now, remember I said to you that 50% or 45% of you weren't subscribed? Well, now, get this, like 85 to 90% of you are subscribed. That's more love for the Banter fam, which makes me feel amazing. Should make you guys feel amazing too. We're getting a bigger fam all around the world. Here, you can't believe how many people in Korea are part of the Banter fam. It's amazing. I'm going to post some pictures for you guys just to show you how amazing it is. So just subscribe to the channel. Also, listen, do me a favor. Just like this content. And then I need one last favor. We're still shadow banned. The only way to get unshadow banned is if you guys comment like crazy. So I'm going to ask you guys to comment. Tell us what you think of my work ethic, the fact that I'm here. Tell us what you think of the show. Keep doing those comments. I want to see over 1,000 comments in those comments, and that will get us unshadow banned. Then we can get all our viewers back, and we can start having some cool fun. All right, listen. I see Jay. I see you, Jay. I'm not in North Korea, bro. I'm obviously in South Korea. I'm in Seoul. How's Do doing? Do actually is in Singapore. He's not here. So yeah, let's see that. Let's see. The chat people should also win prizes. The chat people will win prizes. All right, let's get into the show, and we will do a whole lot of comments today because that's actually what a lot of the show is about today. But I want to go through the a lot of you guys that are commenting here. Comment in the comments when the show's finished as well. That's what really helps us. All right, so let's look at the charts because the charts are the ones that help us. So remember, I said to you for Bitcoin, I was looking at two things. And I said to you that if Bitcoin broke this 200-week moving average, which happened last weekend, after 6 weeks of being below the 200-week moving average, we closed above it, and then we closed above it again this week. And now we're in the third week above the 200-week moving average. And my thesis then is the same as my thesis now. I said, if Bitcoin closes above this 200-week moving average, I'm going to be investing, and I'm going to be investing and deploying a lot. And the reason why I'm going to be investing and deploying a lot is because to me, that means that this run could actually continue for quite a long time. And I'll explain to you why I said it. I'm going to repeat it again. So Bitcoin only broke through the 200-week moving average 3 times in its life. Once was in 2015, which was a black swan event. Second time was when there was COVID. We know that was a black swan event. And the third time that Bitcoin broke below the 200-week moving average was here, and it broke below that for five weeks, which was the longest that's ever happened to Bitcoin. And I say to you that for me, because I believe in the upward trend of Bitcoin, if Bitcoin breaks this trend, for me, that's the final confirmation. I was buying before, but this for me was the final confirmation that it's time to buy, because you can see it. Bitcoin always just touches it, and then after that, we have an amazing bull run, and you can see how big the bull runs are. Now, look where we are relative to 200-week MA. And we know that if Bitcoin is trading at 24,000, and that's just over the 200-week MA, the next level that I'm looking for in Bitcoin is this level over here, which is around the 28,000. That's the next bit of resistance is at 28. And the next bit of resistance after that is at 32. And then after that, there's no resistance for quite a while. So after that, we go up to like 35, 36,000. So for now, I think this pump still has legs. So you got Bitcoin at 24,000. And I think that this pump still has legs to about 28,000. But this is a big week. So we're going to talk about what's happening this week. Let's talk about all some of the other charts. ETH pumping ahead of the merge. Remember, I told you I'd retested this trend line, but I was confident that we would bounce off the trend line, which we did. And now the next level for ETH is somewhere around the $2,000 mark. And I think it's going to get there. And I'm going to show you how it's going to get there and what the trades are going to be when that happens. Then there's another chart, which is another big telling chart for me. Huge chart for me. Huge chart for me. Huge chart for me. And that is the dominance chart. I've never seen anything like this, because usually dominance goes down when the market goes up and people have confidence. We are at 24,000 on Bitcoin. We are over 50%, 60, 70% below the all-time high. And the dominance is about to break this. In fact, it has actually broken this resistance level or support level over here. And it's about to go down. And if you look at where it's about to go down to, it could go down. The next stop is here to 39.19%. And then if it breaks that, the next level is 35.38. And that's it. We've never been below that. And that tells me that altcoins are going to run. And you can see that what I told you last week is already starting to happen. The altcoins are starting to run. They're starting to pop. And if you catch them, you can make a lot of money. I want to show you some of the alts later on in the show. I'm going to show you some of the alts that I bought in the last week and how much money I've made. You know me, I'm going to be open with you guys. I'm going to show you guys my portfolio and open with you guys, but only if we get over 1,000 likes. So smash the 1,000 likes. All right. Then the other chart that we've got here is the NASDAQ chart. And you can see that the NASDAQ chart, even though we had good jobs numbers on Friday. Now, good jobs numbers here mean two things. Well, great that people have jobs, but also bad because that means that Powell can increase interest rates because there's not a real recession when people all have jobs. So that's another chart that we got to be looking at. And then lastly, this chart over here makes me so happy. You know what makes me happy? Because I told you guys at about $4, I said to you guys, who's getting into near protocol with us? $4, $4.50, $5. Who's getting into near protocol? And we got into near protocol. A lot of us got into near protocol. In fact, I increased my position in near protocol today at $5.50. And I'll show you that in a second. I'll show you all the trades in a second, or as soon as we get to 1,000 likes, that's when I'll show it to you. But I think this has still got a long way to go, because look at this. Where is the next resistance point here? Where is the next resistance point here? It's a long way away. So I think the next level where we could get some resistance is 650. And then after that, there's tiny resistance at 750. And then, well, then we can go to $10 or $11. So watch this trade, watch this trade, watch this trade. There are a few other things that show me that this pump may continue. Now, remember I said to you, I'm watching the 200-week moving average, right? That's the one I was watching. And that was the big sign for me. Now, if you go into the 200-day moving average, which is, of course, slightly smaller, what you will see is that there's a thing called a Mayer multiple. Now, what the Mayer multiple is, a Mayer multiple looks at the ratio between price and the 200-day moving average. Now, let's look at what this Mayer multiple has predicted in the past. Every time that we get very close to the green line, we have a parabolic bull run after. You see? Very close to the green line, parabolic bull run. Very close to the green line, parabolic bull run. Here we're under the green line again. What would happen next? I mean, let's look at it. You know, you've got to look at data, and you say every single time that data's happened. So it happened there, bull run. It happened there, bull run. It happened there, bull run. Happened again there, bull run. And it happened again there. well, what can we expect? So that's showing you another indicator that shows that maybe this run is actually going to continue. I'll show you another thing that shows that maybe this run is going to continue, and that is a tweet by his name is T Analyst. Is it's Aurelian O'Hayan, and he just shows how this cycle may actually be a cycle reversal, and that's what I said to you. There is a possibility, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I said there is a possibility that a relief bounce actually becomes a bull run. So I don't know if this is the case yet, because we're too close to this level. We're too close to the bottom to start calling whether there's going to be a rebound. We're only at 24,000 on Bitcoin, and arguably the low for Bitcoin was only 19,000. So there's a long way to go up. And if we go up, it's actually not going to be Bitcoin that goes up. Bitcoin's going to be boring. It's going to be the altcoins that go up, and that's what the dominance is telling you. So you got to be playing the rally for what it is. Some people are sitting on the sidelines. They're waiting for another leg down. They're just sitting there and waiting for another leg down. I know we've been saying for weeks now, load up. The last couple of weeks were a black swan event. You got to be loading up. If you're not loading up at that point, when are you actually going to load up? And now it's starting to happen. Now it's starting to happen. And there are some people that are still sitting on the sidelines. And the question for those people is it too late to get in, or should you be getting in? And for me, the answer is, well, we've just bounced off the 200-week moving average. I see a new narrative in the market. I see that we could be breaking this trend. In fact, look at this. NASDAQ market timers are showing significant bullishness lately, a sign that the bear market rally may be running on fumes. So maybe we've seen the end of the bear market rally. I don't know. I'm not saying we have or we haven't. All I'm saying is you've got to play the momentum. You've got to play the trend. And the trend now is up. And the trend now is up aggressively on altcoins, specifically, not on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's good to accumulate. But the trend now is aggressively up on altcoins. I mean, let's just look at some of our altcoins. I don't want to go into altcoins. I didn't want to go into the pawn scene so early, but now that we're talking about it, look at Pocket Network. I tweeted about this one earlier. Look at this, up 40% today. It went up to 18 cents today. We'll talk about that one. We'll talk about that one a bit later. The graph. Look at the graph. So here we go. We got the graph up 20% today. We've been telling you to buy the graph since 11 cents. Who bought it? A lot of people were sitting on the sidelines going, I know we're going to listen to other people on YouTube. We're going to listen to other people on Twitter, and we're going to wait for the next leg down. And I kept saying to you guys, that's not what's going to happen here. That's not what's going to happen here. Anyway, let's talk about this week, because it's quite a big week this week. What do we have this week? Well, two things that I think crypto people need to be looking at. Okay, so the first thing people need to be looking at is we need to be looking at Coinbase results. Coinbase is going to publish results 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock, Coinbase publishes results. It's big. It's not that big. It's just nice if we're crypto people. But more importantly, what we should be looking out for this week is the CPI numbers. That's the inflation numbers. Now, I don't think that the CPI numbers are anything to worry about this week. I'll tell you why. First of all, I think that the CPI numbers are going to go down. They're going to be lower than the 9.1% that we've seen. In fact, if I look at the consensus forecasts, the consensus forecast for CPI is, let me make it bigger for you guys who are watching this on a mobile phone. Let's zoom in for you guys. There we go. As you can see, the consensus is 8.7. I think as long as we get anything under 9.1, I think we're safe. If we get over 9.1, we're not safe. But the likelihood of over 9.1 is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Anything under that, we're fine. If we get under 8.7, this rally is going to pick up steam. The reason I'm not too worried about the inflation numbers this week is because, remember, the Fed doesn't meet this month. In fact, the next time the Fed meets is after the September inflation numbers. And the September inflation numbers will better reflect all the price decreases that we've already had. So if you look at the price decrease, for example, on oil, and you say, okay, the high of oil was March, April, and oil was $131, between $120 and $130 a barrel. That's going to take months to get into the consumer's pockets. And now, if you look at what the oil price is now, the oil price is $95. That will start filtering in a month or two. So you kind of see that inflation is going to be coming down by about this much. So the reason why I think the numbers are a non-event this time, unless we get an inflation shock, which is going to be over 9.1, which is not going to happen, then we're safe. And if we get under 8.7, this rally is going to pick up steam like you've never seen before. And you can see the NASDAQ is picking up steam. I mean, it's shaking off all the bear market issues. In fact, I think it was Sheldon earlier said, I don't know if you guys watched Sheldon's show, probably was a very good show. Let's look at the S&P 500. But if you look at the S&P 500, I think the S&P 500 is, if you take it from its highs to where we are today, I'm doing this on a very rough chart, but it's only 12% below its highs. So we're rallied back to the S&P is 12% below its highs, which is now coming back into real bull market territory. So that is where we are. Let's see if there's anything else about inflation. I don't think there's much more that we should talk about inflation. One other thing that we're seeing, very important, is that we are seeing that funds are net short of gold for the first time since 2018. Now, why am I showing you a gold chart? Because what this is saying to you is that funds are no longer worried about inflation. Because if they were worried about inflation, they would be buying gold. But if they're selling gold, if they're shorting gold, they're saying, look, we think that inflation is going to be coming down, and therefore we don't need as much gold in our portfolio. And now they are shorting gold. So you see, we're shorting gold. All right, so that is that. Let's talk about Vitalik. So I'm here in Korea, as I said, brilliant so far. Vitalik was on stage earlier. I tried to get him for an interview, but he was flying to Canada. He had 45 minutes to make it to the airport. He said, look, can't do any interviews. Also, he doesn't want to take any interviews about the merge until the merge happens. And especially now, because of this fork that's about to happen, it's become really contentious. And so he didn't want to take any interviews. I did try. I promise you guys I did try. I did speak to many other people. I spoke to Ilya from Near Protocol. I spoke to a whole lot of miners. I spoke to a whole lot of big VCs here. And they're all under the same consensus here. And the consensus is that there's going to be a split in the chains. There's going to be a proof of work chain and a proof of stake chain. Now, that means for us, huge opportunity. I'm going to show you the huge opportunity, and I'm going to show you what you need to do to capitalize on that opportunity. So the merge is now 35 days away. Vitalik was talking on stage earlier, and he said, look, after the merge, not exactly after the merge, but when ETH gets to its full potential, you're going to get transaction fees of between 0.002, so 0.2 cents, to about 15 cents per transaction. That's what the kind of numbers that he's talking about. That's in a couple of years when they finish all their things. He's pretty confident that they're on track this time. You remember, you got the Gurley upgrade. It's going on to the I think it's the Gurley testnet. That happens in about 2 days. That's scheduled for between the 10th and 12th of August. So between the 10th and 12th of August, you got this upgrade. If that all works, then, well, it's the next milestone is when it actually happens. Now, what is actually going to happen when ETH merges from proof of work to proof of stake? Well, you're going to get this ETH bomb, which is going to be amazing, because all of a sudden you're going to get a really deflationary ETH. Remember that emissions for Ethereum, token releases that used to be paid to the miners, are now going to be reduced. They're going to be reduced by 99%. And on top of that, EIP 1559 still keeps burning ETH. So all of a sudden, you've got this mechanism that's burning ETH, but you're not issuing as many ETH. So ETH truly becomes deflationary. So it has a one-up on Bitcoin because it becomes truly deflationary. Then after that, on top of that, you've got an ESG-friendly asset. So all the fund managers can now really invest in it. Now we've got a new dynamic. So when I spoke to a lot of the people here, and I said to them, well, look, how do you think the merge is going to go? And I remember, these are very technical people. These are people that have built chains, etc. They all seem to have said the same thing. They said, look, one is we're not sure it's going to happen on time. And two, when it does happen, there are going to be problems. There are going to be problems with the ETH merge. Even though this thing has been tested and tested and tested, there are going to be problems, because there are so many tokens on top of Ethereum, etc., etc. There are so many exchanges that need to be integrating all of this. There are going to be problems. And so we've got to watch out, and we've got to anticipate those problems. And that's why it's probably going to be a buy the rumor, sell the merge event. I don't know if I'd be very long ETH after the merge, because your upside has already been realized, and your downside, well, your downside is much bigger. So be careful of being too long Ethereum until the merge. But until the merge, you can be long Ethereum. because I think there's still a lot of upside. And I think that that's what this chart's telling us. If you look at this ETH chart, here it is. It's telling you that your next stop is 2,000, and then after that it's 2,148. And then kind of look what happens after that. So you got this 2,500, but then it can continue to run. So you can be long going into the merge. Just be careful. Don't be caught too long after the merge, because you'd probably capture all the value before the merge. And then you kind of want to say, look, I'm out. Let this chain thing work and work well. And then if you want to get back in, get back in. Remember that there are a lot of opportunities in this merge. Now, we know for sure now that there's going to be a split in the chain. There's going to be we think that the miners are going to continue mining proof of work Ethereum, and then there's going to be a split to the proof of stake Ethereum. So there's going to be two chains. Vitalik hates this idea. He's been fighting so hard for proof of stake, and the last thing that he wants is a proof of work chain. And so he's been taking on Justin Sun. Well, in fact, maybe Justin Sun took him on first. Hold on, let's have a look here. So yeah, let's quickly find all of that. I mean, just to give an idea of why the miners want it. The miners are making transaction fees, huge transaction fees for putting through all the transactions, right? $620 million worth of fees was earned in July. In August so far, okay, we don't have the monthly data yet. $500 million was paid to the miners before that. That's a lot of miner revenue, right? That's a lot of money going to miners, and they don't want to lose this, so they're going to keep mining it. And it feels like Justin Sun has a big incentive to watch this work. So you got the miners and you got Justin Sun, and they have a big incentive to get Ethereum working. And what Justin Sun did on the weekend was he listed the two ETH chains separately. So ETH proof of stake and ETH proof of work on his exchange, which is Poloniex. He actually listed the two tokens, and that's where there might be a trade. So let's quickly go there so you can have a look at it. There's three real parties here that can benefit if there's a ETH proof of work and proof of stake chain. The first party that benefits is, of course, the miners, because the miners don't lose all their mining revenue if the proof of work chain continues. The second party that actually benefits from this is the exchanges, because the exchanges are going to make revenue on two types of tokens. And so what you can see is that the exchanges are actually starting to really support it. Here are some of the exchanges that are supporting it. Here we go. So the first batch of exchanges, here we go. Mexi, Bitfinex, Binance, Flexpool, Poloniex, Wabi, KuCoin, FTX, they all going to be supporting a multi-chain world, a proof of work and a proof of stake chain world, okay? Justin Sun was the first one. He owns Poloniex, remember? And he announced a ETH proof of work, which is ETHW, and an ETH proof of stake. Here is where there's an arbitrage. Here is where there's a trade. Now, you got to focus carefully on this trade, okay? Focus very, very, very carefully on this trade. If you look at the two chains, you see that the ETH proof of stake chain, proof of work chain, is currently trading at 7.8% of Ethereum. Okay, so 7.8% of Ethereum's value is now trading in the ETH proof of work chain, which means that after the merge, people are now forecasting that the ETH proof of work chain will have 7.8% of the value of the main chain, and the proof of stake chain will have 92% of the chain. But remember that there is a token called stETH. stETH is, if you staked your Ethereum, you get back an stETH. If you go to Lido and you stake your Ethereum, you get back an stETH. It's a token that says, I have ETH staked in Lido. Now, those tokens don't get the proof of work chain if the proof of work chain happens, okay? So if you hold an stETH, you ain't getting the proof of work chain. What you can do is, if you want the proof of work chain, you got to hold an stETH, plus you got to hold a proof of work chain token, and that will give you, you'll then get exposure to both. Here's the arbitrage. No other channel in the world will bring you this kind of arbitrage, but let me show you, okay? So right now, if you have an ETH, let's do it around. If you have an stETH, let's do it like that, it's worth 0.96 ETH. And if you have an ETH, it's worth 1,0382 stETH. Okay, so you got a curve. If you have an ETH, you can get 1.0382 stETH, okay? But if you have an ETH, you can swap it for an stETH plus one of these derivatives or some of these derivatives. And because these derivatives are trading at 7 or 8%, if you've got an ETH, you can swap it for an stETH and for some of these, and you'd have some change because there's an arbitrage. Because what this is pricing is it's pricing the discount at 3.8%, but the actual derivatives are pricing the merge at 8%. So there's an arbitrage, and you can trade that arbitrage. But now, remember, there could be another type of event, and that is that we get two proof of work chains, separate proof of work chains, and then that doesn't do it. But otherwise, there's a huge arbitrage here. Because if you have one ETH, you can trade your one ETH, and you can get 1.03 stETH plus, or you can have, so if you got one, let's do it again. So you can, if you got one ETH, you take your one ETH, and you sell it for stETH, you can get one stETH, and you'll have 3.8% extra, and you can take that 3.8% and you can buy the derivative, and then you've got yourself more than one ETH for one ETH. So you get that? Okay, cool. So that's what you do. I will talk about this again as it happens, but that's one of the most incredible trades. This is how you want to be trading the merge. After the merge, there's going to be a whole lot of hype. We've seen this before. Okay, look at this. We've seen the hype before. I want to show you what it looks like. This is what happened when Bitcoin Cash forked from Bitcoin. Now, everybody knew that Bitcoin Cash was always going to be smaller, but look at this. We did get to one point, and I remember this, it was over a weekend, where the price of Bitcoin Cash became 0.4 the price of Bitcoin. And that was just around the hype and people not knowing what's going on. You see that? So that's like the initial period where people don't know what's going on with the fork. Eventually, probably the ETH proof of work chain is going to land up somewhere here. But you don't care about eventually, you care about now. And so I think there's going to be a lot of hype here. I think there's going to be a lot of hype on the first couple of days. And remember that if all of a sudden something goes wrong with the proof of stake merge, what's going to happen? It's a very low probability, but it could happen. What's going to happen? Well, then everyone's going to go back to the proof of work chain. Okay? You want to be holding the proof of work chain when that happens. So I wouldn't be caught going into this merge without having real Ethereum. In other words, qualify for both chains. I wouldn't be caught holding stETH unless you're holding stETH and the derivative, which makes you whole. All right, so that's what you want to be doing. You want to be going into ETH merge holding your ETH. If you're holding stETH, I don't know if it's the right place to be. I would get out of the Rocket Pool ETH or the stETH, and I'd be holding the fork because you know there's going to be some kind of pump. It's going to get some kind of traction. That is what I'm doing. That's what I'm done. I actually sold all my stETH on the weekend. I sold all my Rocket Pool ETH. I took a 3.5% knock, but I hedged it because what I did was I bought these derivatives. So that's the trade that I took. I know it's a complicated trade, and I know that you guys don't want to be taking that trade, but it is there if you want it. If you want a 3.5% arbitrage, then do it. I've done it. So I've traded out of all my stETH. I don't own any more stETH. I don't own any more Rocket Pool ETH. I now am fully in full Ethereum, and I'm waiting to get both tokens so that I can make the arbitrage on both tokens. And when the merge happens and we get a spike, that's when I'm going to dump my proof of work Ethereum. Because the reality is I don't think that the proof of work chain will get much traction in the long run. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. I mean, most chains are supporting the new proof of stake ETH. Chainlink is supporting the new proof of stake ETH. Obviously, Barry Silbert is also supporting the new proof of stake ETH because remember, these guys are big on Ethereum Classic. And he thinks that the proof of work should be ETH Classic and the proof of stake should be Ethereum, which may not be actually what happens, but this is why Barry Silbert is behind this. We have zero intention to support any ETH proof of work fork. Obviously not, because the miners should move to ETC. That's very bad for people who are holding the Grayscale ETH fund or any fund that's holding Grayscale ETH, because if they don't support it, that's like throwing away your money, your free token. So you got to support all forks. We will be with you guys, and we will tell you guys how to do it. Yeah, all right, let's go. Let's carry on. There's a lot to talk about today. We'll quickly spend 2 or 3 minutes on this before we get into real Degens. So BlackRock, I love this. Crypto tweeted it. We had the announcement last week that BlackRock was going to be offering crypto purchases using Coinbase on their Aladdin system. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, BlackRock's coming into crypto. BlackRock's not spending their own money on crypto. Aladdin is a system that most investment managers in the United States use, and I think maybe even worldwide, but I know definitely in the United States. And Aladdin will allow investment managers who use it to buy and store crypto, which is huge. It gives a huge market to Bitcoin and crypto for people who want to buy it. What we saw, I mean, the positive signs here are that they've pivoted just like everybody else. So in the beginning, Larry Fink said it was an index of money laundering, and then BlackRock became bullish, and then they started offering a Bitcoin. So they've done the whole pivot, and eventually all the fund managers will do all that pivot. Dan Tapiero tweeted this chart, and he said, look, the reason why BlackRock got excited about crypto is because if they look at the adoption curve, we are literally only there. Now imagine being on an adoption curve that looks like that with a Bitcoin chart that is just on the 200-week moving average. It's like if you're not buying now and to hold long term, what are you actually doing here? What are you actually doing here? That's the part I don't understand. What are you actually doing here? There are still people waiting on the sidelines. I just want to say there are still people waiting on the sidelines. All right, let's go. I'm so scared to talk about the story. So scared. Because the last time I spoke about Cardano, I had a terrible weekend because the Cardano community ripped into me. And I was actually positive about Cardano on Friday Banter. And if you weren't watching Friday Banter, go and watch Friday Banter. So now I want to make it clear. I'm not saying anything, but Mark Cuban is saying that Cardano has not made much of an impact. And he's kind of saying, when is Cardano going to have the aha moment? Because the data shows him that Cardano is nowhere near Solana and Ethereum and whatever else. Now, remember, I didn't say that. I'm not saying anything about Cardano because show you what happened to me on the weekend when I spoke about Cardano. The Cardano community picked this up, as usual.
I think the answer is kind of a few things.
And then there were a whole lot of comments, including a comment from Charles. I got to read you this comment because it just really, really, really made no sense. I've got to find the comment. It said something like, you keep inviting the wrong people onto your show. I'm like, how are these all the wrong people? Anyway, I'm not talking about Cardano anymore. I still hold some of my Cardano. I don't hold as many Cardano anymore, but I do hold Cardano. It is one of my big positions. And Mark Cuban said that he's not convinced. All right, I think we should stop talking about everything else and we should just start degening. I want to talk about one more thing. So I'm in Korea now. When I get back home, I've got, hold on. Oh, okay. When I get back home, I've got to go to my son's first career day at school. Remember, my son's 6 years old. There's a career day at school. I'm so worried about going because what am I going to go as? So I saw this today. And it's like, I really, really, really hope I don't do this to my son. I really, really, really hope I don't do this to my son. Rock up with a ledger and a bag of weed. Alrighty, we're going to talk altcoins now. So do me a favor. If you're not a degen, if you don't want to talk about altcoins, if you're one of those people that's going to come afterwards when the market comes down a little bit and say, but Ran told me to buy this, Ran told me to buy Luna. If you're one of those people, then do me a favor and just log off now. We'll wait a few seconds for you. We'll log off now. You know what I'll do? While I'm waiting for you guys to log off, I'm going to play something from GALA Games because GALA Games is doing something amazing. I can't say too much. They have sponsored the show. I can't say too much. But just this one. Something to do with films. I'm not telling you very much. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm going to play the degen only thing. If you're not a degen, if you're going to be a crybaby afterwards, if you're not going to do your own research, if you're going to say Ran told me to get in when the market crashes or when one of these tokens go down, then please log off. Okay, so this is log off. Fuck, I love this community. Not a single person logged off. In fact, 41 new people joined the stream. All right, so if you're a Degen, remember, I need comments. So in the comment, tell me about why you're a Degen. Tell me that you are a Degen, and tell me which coins you're buying. I'm gonna take my pants off now, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what. No, I'm kidding. I'm not taking my pants off. I'm gonna show you guys what I bought today. I'm gonna show you some of my trades, and then I'm gonna talk about some of the trades that I actually want to be entering. And most people won't share this kind of data with you, but hell, you know what? We're one family. So as one family, let me show you what I've done today or in the last couple of days. Remember, if you're not a Degen, get out of here. Okay, so here are some of my trades. First of all, I bought some Pocket Network this morning. Not enough. I tried to get it, but it was very liquid on BYBIT. So I have been buying some Pocket Network. You can see I bought about 20 grand's worth of Pocket Network, and Pocket Network absolutely exploded. I bought these at about 11 cents, 10, 11 cents. That's actually exploded. I'm going to be accumulating a big bag of Pocket. I'm going to be accumulating a massive bag of Pocket because I believe in it, but I'm not going to buy this pump. I'm not going to buy this pump. Comes down to back to 10, 11 cents. I'm holding it for the long term. So that's one that I bought today. Let's look at some of the derivatives trades that I've made. Let's show you some of the derivatives trades that I've made. And remember, I've made some big trades. Doesn't mean that you have to make big trades at all. I'm just showing you in the interest of transparency so that you can see how I'm positioning my portfolio. I still have this Bitcoin long open, which is $67,000 in profit. It's one of my accounts. I still have the Cardano long open. So remember, I bought some Cardano at 47 cents, and that's now printing money. Then I've still got the DOT position open, also 772. That also is starting to print, which is great. I've been taking more and more near. In fact, I even took a position in near at $5, and then I took it again at $5.50. And the reason why I took those trades was because I'm waiting for NearCon, and I think that Near is going to explode. Okay, now here's the deal. If you think that Near is going to explode, you'd be silly to think that Near is going to explode and Aurora is not going to explode. Aurora is the smart contract Ethereum virtual machine platform on Near. Now that one hasn't popped yet. Near has popped, and I'm still buying Near because if I look at the Near chart, let's just look at the chart. I mean, the chart probably will. Let's just see if I've got a chart here with Near open. Otherwise, we can just make one. So let's look at the Near chart. Again, if the market carries on running, these carry on running. If not, well, then market stops. So look here. So you got Near now at 560, and then the next real resistance is at 730. Okay, and if it breaches at 730, then 950, and yeah, 850, then 950. So for me, good risk reward here. Anyway, I want to be holding Near in my long-term bag. So very, very, very good risk reward for me. That's why I'm doing it. That's why I did this. And then DYDX. So I just bought a couple more DYDX because I think it hasn't exploded yet. Now I want to show you. This is another chart. I think Sheldon spoke at length about this chart. Let's look at the DYDX chart. This one, look at that. So look at that first of all. Just look at where you're buying this thing. And then you can see it's just broken out and it retested here and it's starting its way up. Now, where is the next resistance here? So 250, and then the next resistance is at 315. So for me, good risk reward. Also one of the ones that hasn't run. Also, it's a real product. Let me see what else. GMX. I want to buy GMX. I'm not buying it at these prices. It's too high for me, way too high for me. But I'm going to get in. I'm going to get in. Next pullback, I'm getting into GMX. If you liked GMX, you may want to look at Gains Network. So a GNS. Just see if we can find a good chart. Am I frozen?
You're back.
Okay. I'm back. Okay, so I must have had they told me the internet share was so good, but it actually wasn't. You see, so let's have a look here. All right, so let me quickly get you guys a chart of Gains Network. If it freezes again, I mean you kind of know what to do, right? Here. Okay, I don't know if this is going to give us a good chart. Okay, we don't have a good chart. Let's quickly get a chart of CoinMarketCap because that will give us a good chart. So you got Gains Network. Okay, so it's up 11.3% today, and I just want to show you kind of like what it's done in the last couple of months. So the low was about 74 cents. It's back at about $2.25. and you can, let's just look where it's come from, so you can just get an idea of where it is. But this whole narrative of this real yield narrative. So things like GMX and Gains Network. So we spoke about NIA, we spoke about Aurora. The other one that we spoke about. Congratulations to all of you guys that actually got into this one. Remember, I told you guys to be getting into the graph at 11 cents, GRT. So I think GRT is doing very well. Let's just see if I can find you guys a good chart. Here we go, $15.30, up 20% today, up 20% today. So yeah, I'm deploying, and I'm going to keep deploying until, watch out on Wednesday. But if we can get through Wednesday unscathed, I'm deploying. Now, if you want to be trading, like I'm trading in the trading account, you have a tight stop loss. But if not, well, then just hold them. Buy things that you want to hold in your long-term bag. And every single one of the ones that I've spoken about, NIA, Aurora, Graph, DYDX, Pocket Network, GMX, GNS, those are all things that I want in my long-term portfolio. Cardano, I've got in my long-term portfolio. So I don't mind if the price goes down, because I know that eventually the price will go up and I can afford to hold them. So that's my attitude here. Buy things that you can afford to hold. All right, lastly, it's been an amazing show. But if you haven't yet joined the competition, okay, we've moved it to the 12th of August. The start is going to be on the 12th of August. There are 1,146 people on the competition. Just go and join. It's going to be a fun time to trade. We're all going to have a lot of fun. You go to the YouTube video. Look here. You just go there. You click there. We're all going to have, and you go here, and you click here, and you see where it says BYBIT. We see where it says trading competition starts today. Click that, and you will sign up for the trading competition. Remember that this week I'm going to choose 50 people, and I'm going to sponsor your trading. I'm going to put the $250 into your account. You're going to trade. If you win, you keep the winnings. If you lose nothing. Okay, but do it. All right, listen, guys, I'm going to go because I want to go eat something, and then I've got to do some school, crypto school. It's going to be 1 o'clock in the morning when I do school here. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, have fun, trade well. Let's hope these markets continue. Look after yourself out there. Don't deploy everything at once, but also don't sit on the sidelines. If you sit on the sidelines, you're going to miss everything. And then what have we done here? Alrighty, see you guys tomorrow. Until then, trade well, friends. If you're still here, comment. I need those comments. We need to get the shadow ban removed. I'm counting on you guys, the Banter fam, to help me do it. So I'll see you guys again tomorrow. But do me a favor, give us some comments, give us some love.